Hey Willy, I got some Mick Ultra, some Stella, some Appleton, and some what is it? Some Casamigos. Which one you want?
Dude, hey man, if it's got apples in it, I'm probably sending the apples, dude.
I mean, I hope it's not too early.
Oh, dude, hey man, it's never too early, man. You already know that. I'm a big fan. I'm a big connoisseur of the drink. Not gonna lie. That's why I love having drunk streams and shit.
YouTube fam, I hope everyone is doing amazing. I'm super excited about this new video we're bringing you today. This has been in the works for a minute and it's finally here. For those of you that are new and unfamiliar with me, I go by the name Sir Vega, aka Bo Daddy. I am a content creator here on YouTube as well as on Twitch. Today we have a gentleman that needs little to no introduction, as everyone in the New World community knows him, unless you live under a rock on a remote island or maybe on a distant, fucking planet, who knows. Before we go into him, I just wanted to give you all a heads up as to what we're going to be shooting for with this video and future videos. So our goal is to bring fans, followers, friends closer on a personal level to the content creators they love within the New World community, as well as shining a light on them so Amazon can see the bloody amazing assets they have in these creators. All right, so let's get this moving. We have William Nathaniel of Effenberg. No, I'm kidding.
Something
Don't go looking that up because that doesn't exist. Because you might have some crazy fans that might actually look that up and get pissed off when they don't find your face.
Maybe so, dude. Maybe so at this point. That'd be kind of cool.
It's
scary but cool.
You're finally here, bro. Like, we finally made this happen.
What's up? I'm very excited. Obviously, I do a lot of streaming and stuff, but I'm definitely down for something a little more low key, a little more chill, and kind of with something down to earth. We can just talk about questions and hopefully people can kind of get to know me a little bit more from it. So I'm very excited.
For sure. I definitely think it's something almost necessary, man. I feel like we get to streaming and we get wrapped up in what's going on in the present time and I would assume, as I would like to know some of these streamers that I follow. Sometimes I want to ask them questions on stream, but it's like, they're busy or maybe this isn't the right time and maybe they don't even want to answer that shit. So,
yeah, for sure.
But I'm gonna try to grab you guys up and bring you a little bit closer. And who knows, maybe Amazon will take notice and be like, all right, this dude, he's a cool guy,
Maybe so, man. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
So, what'd you have for breakfast today, man? Like, what'd you do this morning?
Oh, dude.
What's Willy's breakfast?
Dude, Willy, honestly, my breakfast is more of a lunch. I don't really have a breakfast. And that's mainly because as soon as I get up, the first thing I really start doing is it's all kids, right? I got 3 kids. So I got a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 3-month-old. And normally with the wife, we are getting them ready. We're getting them breakfast. We're doing that kind of stuff. We're helping the baby. And then kind of by the time they're done eating, we kind of use that as chill time. And I normally kind of just have a lunch and dinner. I'll be honest. I know breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but I'm so busy in the morning that it's hard for me to kind of get an appetite. So I'm not a big breakfast guy, although I love breakfast food though.
Yeah, for sure. I'm with you on that one. I feel like sometimes, having a breakfast kind of slows you down almost.
Yeah, I agree. Well, and for me, it's a matter of like finding time for it. It's like I got to find time to eat a whole meal in the morning while dealing with the kids. And then it's like, and I mean, kids, and an hour or two later, boom, it's lunchtime. So it's like I got to make them lunch, and that's downtime that I'm taking out. I use a lot of my mornings actually to set up my stream. So that's kind of my breakfast. My breakfast is my stream. Like, I'm not even capping. Like that is kind of my breakfast there.
Yeah. So are you the first one up?
I am not the first one up. I used to be back in the day. I used to be. My wife is actually the first one up now. She would sleep forever if she could. She has been helping out a lot, especially since I've been putting a lot into the stream. She gets up in the morning and lets me sleep in an extra hour or two most mornings. Granted, hey, I give it in return by letting her nap throughout the day. So I try to give that back, but it's a little give and take.
Yeah, man. Sounds like you have the same situation at your house as you do at my house. You know, I don't know if people know. Maybe some do, some don't. But you're a stay-at-home father. Just, you know, I'm a stay-at-home father myself, and it's not easy. So I feel you. I feel you with all that stuff. You know, waking up in the morning and moving bodies is it can be hard sometimes because everybody has, you know, their own moods, and everybody doesn't wake up in a great mood all the time, including myself. I'm sure that happens to you.
I'm a horrible morning person. Morning person. Catch me in the evening, and I'm a big night guy. I love the nights. I cannot stand the mornings. Like, I don't know why. I am so grumpy. I'm irritable. It's a different kind of Willy. It's a different kind of Willy for sure.
Now, has it always been like that? Before married life too?
Yeah, I think it has, dude. I've always hated the fucking mornings, dude.
It sucks, man. Yeah, mornings are rough, man. Especially if you stay up late, and like, I mean, I don't know. Do you after you stop streaming, you probably have, your brain is probably moving, trying to, you know, think of the next thing that you can add, right?
Oh yeah, dude. It never stops. It never stops, dude. I'm always trying to think. I'm always trying to think of how to improve. It's even hard to sleep sometimes. Like, I say it a lot on stream and stuff, but you know, when you're doing this and stuff, you know, it's a never-ending cycle almost. The content creation process, and it definitely takes a certain style of person to want to do it, and it takes passion. And I think you know, anybody can stream, but it's a matter of how much passion and how much you really want to put your heart into it.
Yeah, and what about the blows, man? What about the hiccups? What about the obstacles? Maybe someday you don't have one night you might not have a good stream, or you might go through a span of like 3 or 4 streams that just isn't as good as the last one. It's tough, man. It's tough.
It's very tough, and especially since I went from stay-at-home dad to full-time provider with this. Like, this wasn't, when I started my stream, that wasn't really the goal. You know what I mean? It was kind of just like, I'm gonna start streaming. I really like streaming, and it kind of just started transcending into this thing, into this beast, and I love it to death. But I think that's also adds a little extra of, you know, some of those days where it's like, you know, I do a lot of shoutcasting, obviously, and some of those days when my voice is hurting and stuff, my grind, my hustle says, you know, you want to get on stream, you want to have some fun, you want to talk to your community, you want to always try and be there. But at the same time, you know, at the end of the day, sometimes you got to be like, hey, I might need to take a day off, I might need to take a break. And I struggle with that, actually.
When you struggle with the realizing that you need to take a day off, or you struggle with, you know, trying to get the ball rolling to, you know, put that game face on? Which,
no, I'm great at putting a game face on, and honestly though, it doesn't take much, because I'm genuinely passionate about like New World, my community, and what I do, and I mean other games as well. But it is you know, taking those days off, man. My community sometimes is like, Willy, take a damn day off, like, it's okay, like, you know what I mean? But I think
told you that before, man. Because you did like, I think there was a point where you did over 10. Well, how many days was it, bro?
I did 34 days in a row before I took a day off.
God, bro, you're outworking everybody.
Dude, I mean, I really put in the freaking hustle, and I think that does come from my background a little bit, though. You know what I mean? And I said that before. I'm really open and honest, but I think that really does kind of come from my background. I'm a big grinder in general when I really love things, and you know, and whenever I see an opportunity that I have that honestly has been one of the best opportunities of my life, it's hard for me not to grind and work as hard as I possibly can, because let's be honest, as content creators, you never want that flame to die, and that's in the back of everyone's mind. And you know what I mean? Like, it's just how it goes. And I'm new too. I'm only going on 4 months of streaming, so it's like it's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a 9-to-5 job. You kind of have to. You don't know what next month is going to look like, you know, and that's a tough part. What I didn't know that you mentioned there at the beginning of that is that you have transitioned into the main provider.
Yep, that happened. Yeah.
that's got to be, I mean, that's got to be stressful, but also at the same time, you know, with the way how fast you're moving, that's got to be pretty fucking satisfying.
Yeah, it's a mix of both. Yeah, it's freaking awesome, right? It's awesome. There's so many give and takes though, because you know I was a stay-at-home dad. I actually was working all my life, even for the family, until kind of around October of last year. I kind of got to a mental break with myself. You know, it got hard. It got taxing for me. Going through a lot of lows, just working in retail. Working, that's kind of what I do, right? I worked 7 years at Walmart, and then I was working at an appliance store selling appliances, and like, I just don't have that kind of passion for appliances. You know what I mean? And it's hard for me to convince myself to go to work every day with a smile. And I felt like, I was losing my energy. I was losing my happiness, quite frankly. So I decided to be a stay-at-home, and that kind of made it to where I was like, hey, I found my passion through my kids, and I got to see what it was like to really provide for your family in a different kind of way. But for me, it was beneficial because it felt more, I guess, empowering for me. It felt more like I was there and present, and it gave me a purpose again, where sometimes working, you can pay the bills, but at the same time, does it give you that same kind of, I guess, drive, so it's a little different. Yeah. And then it transitioned into, like I said, a couple weeks before my wife was we were having our third kid. She planned on going back to work, but a couple weeks I was just like, hey, a lot of my buddies were saying I should stream New World because they say I'm like, I was always the guy in the guild who was like, company who was like, always upbeat. I'm the shot caller. I was always, a lot of people, I mean, hell, even in companies I was in, a lot of them were like, dude, I'm in the company because Willy's in this bitch. Like we're having fun. Like, dude, the wars are crazy. They're ecstatic. You know what I mean? They're electric. And everybody loved a Willy War is what they called it. And this is before I started streaming. They were like, dude, you got to be in a Willy War. If you haven't been in a Willy War, you got to be in one. So it kind of started becoming New World. Yeah. I've been playing New World on release, and I got really known in the community for my shot calling, and everybody was like, you got to be in a Willy War. And it was just the energy I kind of bring. And one of my buddies one night was like, hey, dude, you should really stream. Like, dude, you bring so much energy and you'd be good at it. And I was like, all right, yeah, I'll think about it. And then a couple of days went by, and I was like, you know what, man, maybe I've tried streaming 3 or 4 times in the past, but not to much success. And I was like,
I want to get into that. I want to get into that. Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah. So I was like, I'll give it a shot. And I ended up streaming. And whenever I first went live, it was just kind of like like what everybody does, just streaming the wars. You know what I mean? But bringing my kind of flair to it. And then one day, because the thing is, when we went to Pluto, this is when everything started popping off. When Pluto started blowing up, I couldn't get into the wars, and I love New World for the wars. Like, don't get me wrong, the other content's cool, but the wars are like the big deal for me. And it kind of turned into, I ended up reaching out, and I was like, hey, dude, I really like. There was a huge Winds of War happening with TC and Modern, and I was like, I really want to be in this. I want to. If I can't be in it, I want to at least like spectate it. Like, I want to watch it because everybody's buzzing about it. And I was like, hey, I asked actually El Twinkie, was it the first person I ever shoutcasted over? I was like, hey, El Twinkie, I was like, is it cool if I catch your POV for the war? I'm going to kind of add like, I guess my commentary on it. I didn't even call it shoutcasting at the time. I was like, I'm just adding my commentary on it. And once it started, God, dude, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it gives me it kind of gives me a little goosebumps thinking about it. But I kind of just naturally started shoutcasting it, and people freaking loved it. The very first stream I ever did shoutcasting it, I got up to about 200 viewers on the very first shoutcast I ever did, and people were like, "This is fucking awesome!" Like, everybody was like, "Dude, you are coming in, like, you're bringing that energy," and that's kind of how the stream started, man. And it kind of just started.
Gold idea, because I mean, you see people in global chat, hey, anybody streaming this war? Hey, anybody streaming that war?
Yeah.
Now it's gotten to the point where it's like, all right, nobody asked that. They just go straight to the source, and you've become that source.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, because I mean,
and it's not just the source. It's also like you're saying, you know, and I'm sure you hear it all the time. It's the energy you bring. It's a positivity you bring because the first time I found you, little story. First time I found you, I was actually my wife's Twitch account was logged into my computer, and I went in there, and because I heard, you know, there's this guy Willy that covers wars, this and that, and I went in there, and you were doing a war with Mythic, and at the time I was beefing with a couple people from Mythic, so I had left Mythic.
yeah.
And I saw you in there, and I was kind of being a little toxic, man. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of being. I was like, oh, you know, f Mythic and f this guy, he sucks. And you were just like, you know, I don't know if maybe because it was a woman's name on there. I don't want to put that on you, but it was like you took it easy on me, bro. You were like, yeah, but it's all right. You know, we're out here just having a good time and this and that. You like instead of coming back at me with, you know. The shotgun and being like, yo, shut up, bro. Like, like you put water on that fire, and I was all like, okay, I can get with that.
No, it's not because you're honestly. It wouldn't be because of that. It's how I treat my whole stream, man. I really
and I really do that now. But that night when I was on there, I was all like, man, let me log into. I was like, let me poke the bear a little bit.
See what this guy's got. Now, don't get me wrong, I can fire back, but really, I really want to try and, you know, the way I envision a community is a place where I can have my friends and everybody's just kind of chill and down to earth. You know, I feel like it's so easy to operate. A stream off of like toxicity, and I really feel like how you act on stream is going to be how your community acts and how your viewers act. And I do not want to put myself in a situation where I'm uncomfortable going on stream because I'm harnessing a viewership of toxicity. You know, I want to know I can go on stream, and if I'm having a bad day, my viewers are going to pick me up, and it's a loop of energy, right? You know what I mean? And I actually really heavily believe in that, and that's kind of how I try to operate my whole life, though. You know, I've been through a lot, and I've worked in a lot of crazy places, and I really think just staying positive has always been what's got me through a lot of that.
Yeah, it definitely helps, and it's one thing, like I said, one thing I've noticed on your streams, man. It's all positive. It's super honest, man. Because I mean, you come off as a really genuine, honest, you know, dude that you know, gives it to people straight, but in a way where, you know, because you never know what somebody's going through on the other end that might be going, you know, let me go check out Willy, or let me go check out I don't know, anybody, OP or me, or I mean, not trying to put myself in the same category as you, because bro, you're up there. But
we're all the same, dude. I agree. I mean, I feel I hate. You know, it's funny. I want to hit on that personally for a second. It's like you know, don't get me wrong. I'm in a great position right now when it comes to my viewership and stuff. But I've also I've streamed in the past, and I have plenty of friends who, you know, they've been grinding for a long time, and they get, you know, 10 to 20, you know, viewers and stuff. And I don't know. We're all a community, and that's genuinely how I feel about it. Whether you get high views or low views, it doesn't matter. Right. We're a community, and we're in this shit together. That's really how I feel about it all.
100%, man. 100%. I see you. I don't think. I mean, as far as like what I've seen, dude, you're always raiding people.
I am every night. I send a raid every night. I try to send a raid every night to specifically people on New World. I've raided a few WoW streamers once just to kind of like, I'm trying to play a little classic WoW now and then. But, but every single night since I started streaming, I raid somebody in New World every single night.
And that's beautiful, man, because I've seen you do that, and I've actually taken a page out of your book, and I'll go down the line, and I'll find somebody that maybe's got, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people, and, you know, pump them up a little bit. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing like I was getting to before. It's the same thing with the viewers. You never know. Somebody might come to your stream that is having a shitty fucking day. And that energy you bring, you know, people are coming to play a video game, in this instance, you know, New World. It's kind of detached from that. Yeah. To be able to have you there that's bringing that positivity, that energy that can distract them from that, bro, that's awesome, and I commend you for what you're doing. I know a lot of people within the community, you know, talk great things about you. I don't want to blow up your head, but
well, I appreciate it, man. I really do. I mean, I really put a lot into it, you know. And I've had people come into the stream and definitely fire shots, right? And I have thick skin. Like I'm a real positive guy, and I think one thing that whenever you're a positive person like this, a lot of people think you're also like really sensitive. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I am kind of a sensitive guy, but I also have crazy thick skin. Like there's plenty of times like people will come in the stream and they'll be like one guy came in the stream and was like, "Oh, dude, your beard looks like pubic hair. You know, you ugly." And then it's like and then I kind of like fire back and I kind of meme on him a little bit, but not like so harsh. Kind of like a joke. Like I kind of get what you're coming from, but let me fire at you a little bit. And he ended up hitting the follow. You know what I mean? Like
That's
it's
awesome.
like you know, it's kind of like it's how you kind of approach those is but again, I mean, a little bit of my past, dude. I've always been that guy. Like even in high school, I got class clown and best sense of humor for my class. I've always been that kind of guy to kind of spew a little shit, kind of make everybody laugh though, and kind of just keep it upbeat. Like I don't know, that's just kind of how I've always been.
Speaking of high school, man, and whatnot, where are you originally from? Don't give us any addresses, because we know you don't want nobody showing up at your house in a fucking thong or something, you know, talking about taking you Willy or anything like that. But where are you originally from?
Yeah, I'm from Indiana. I'm from Indiana, and kind of western Indiana a little bit, kind of more towards the sticks. Not necessarily. I grew up a little bit in Indianapolis, but. But by the time, by the time I got kind of old enough, I was kind of out of the city, and we kind of moved to more, wooded areas of Indiana.
So would you say you grew up, you know, city boy or country boy, in between, hybrid? Are you a hybrid?
Dude, I have had such a trajectory, man. I grew up a city boy when I was a kid, right? When I was a kid, I grew up a city boy, and then we lived in an area that necessarily, we lived in a lot of spots that were kind of in rough areas, right? Like when I was around like 2nd, 3rd grade, things like that. Running around the block with the neighborhood kids doing bad stuff, like throwing rocks at cars and taking bikes and just and kind of being like,
see that, bro.
Yeah,
I can't even see that.
Oh, bro, you got no idea, my man. Dude, Willy, I'm a reformed man. Like, if anybody from my personal life, or at least from like high school and stuff, I don't know. I'll get to it, but I'll give you a quick trajectory. So, it kind of went to that. Then I kind of lived in suburbia for a minute. Not gonna lie, my dad, he got his own business, and everything was kind of going good. We got kind of like suburbia place, and that's when I really started getting to gaming. My dad was working a lot, and I really played a lot of RuneScape. I was in 4th grade, so I was about 9. I was about 9 whenever we moved to kind of suburbia. We got out of the bad areas. That's when my dad finally started kind of picking it up. But I kind of have a history of kind of not having so much money. So whenever we started getting it, it was crazy. I used to go to the library and play RuneScape all day. You know what I mean? I used to go to the library and play. Oh yeah, I would walk miles to the library to play RuneScape every single day. And it got to the point where I fell in love with RuneScape, and eventually we convinced our dad to get us a family computer, and that's where our WoW kind of we started playing RuneScape, World of Warcraft, all the other MMOs, and we kind of just started really getting into it. But
was that your first game, RuneScape?
Yeah, well, the first game, I played a lot of stuff growing up. You know what I mean? I played a lot of stuff. I had a PS1, I had a Nintendo 64. I had all those kind of consoles. Game Boy, played a lot of Pokemon growing up. I played Sega. I did all that stuff, but I would say the first game that ever really grabbed me by the balls was definitely RuneScape. RuneScape was my first computer game that ever kind of grabbed me, and I was like, I cannot stop playing this. And then it turned into World of Warcraft, and then it's just I got addicted to WoW. Obviously, big Xbox boy. I played a lot of Halo, Call of Duties. I'm really good at COD. I actually have a big history in first-person shooters too. I play a lot of those. But yeah, and then after that though, that's kind of where that kind of started happening. And then after that, around 9th grade, my dad kind of got into some drugs. And once that kind of happened, it kind of took, my mom took emergency custody of my brother and I, and we went from living kind of in the high life, not gonna lie, like high life suburbia. You know, we had our PCs, we had our Xboxes, you know, we had our own rooms, and we didn't, you know, and like we forgot the early part of our lives where we were sharing our rooms our whole life and stuff. And all of a sudden my mom takes emergency custody, and now we have 5 or 6 people living in a 2-bedroom condo. You know what I mean? And
how many brothers do you have?
I got two brothers. I got a little brother and a twin brother. I'm actually an identical twin.
Oh, look at that. We're finding out all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I'm actually crazy. Yeah, if anybody knows Sir Christopher in the chat, he's my identical twin. We are identical. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. But so once that happened, man, my mom took emergency custody, and not gonna lie, that's when things got really rough in life, right? I was a freshman in high school. You know, we went to a new place, and this place was really uppity, and we were really poor. And, you know, we never, you know, my mom was a really, you know, we wasn't as fortunate. She definitely didn't have a lot of money, but she took us away because my dad was doing drugs, and I bless her for that. You know, I love her for that. She's a strong, independent woman, man. And without my mom, I don't know where I'd be. You know, I love my mom a lot. And you know, once that kind of happened, you know, we started seeing kind of the more nitty gritty of life. You know what I mean? Like it started getting a little more real, and struggling to pay bills, you know, starting to kind of get in with rough crowds. We ended up moving away from this one place because we were getting relentlessly bullied. And I stand up for that. Like we would get relentlessly bullied in school. I've been a bigger kid my whole life. And that's totally fine. I've definitely come to terms with that now, but we were getting really bullied really bad. And we were freshmen too, so that didn't help. In a brand new school, we were poor. We didn't have the cool clothes. You know what I mean? Like, it was rough. So we eventually moved schools. And whenever I went to this new place, I said to myself, I was like, you know, hey, all gloves are off. I'm going to be my genuine self. I don't give a shit what happens. And my sophomore year, yeah, so sorry if I'm rambling, by the way.
No, go for it, man. This is
cool.
I love hearing this stuff, man, because I mean, there's layers of who you are today really goes back to that.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to the interview too for this, because like I don't really have a lot of time on stream to kind of get into the nitty gritties, and I really think a person's past really shows their present, and I think it's really important, you know. So you know, year. Yeah, sophomore year. We got there sophomore year, and I kind of said to myself, I was like, look, I'm gonna be my genuine self. I don't give a damn what I got to do. I don't care. I grew up getting in a lot of, we ended up getting in a lot of fights and stuff like that. And objectively, my sophomore year was probably the most bad I've ever been in my life. A lot of partying, a lot of smoking weed, a lot of drinking, a lot of just getting into the bad crowd. A bad crowd, but at the end of the day, they were, I had a lot of friends. I went from, my brother and I specifically went from getting relentlessly bullied to, coming to a new school, and it was a smaller school, and I'm kind of funny. So I started cracking jokes. I started kind of making fun of, letting it go. And a lot of the teachers didn't like me because, they would kind of be the butt-ends of my jokes. Like they would say something funny and I'd be like, say something back, and then boom, it's like, I'm making the class laugh, but I'm getting in trouble. My sophomore year, I had 42 in-school suspensions, separate. I'm surprised I didn't get expelled, honestly. I could have been expelled. It was really, really bad. I was getting into a lot of fights, and it was, I was really in the heavy party scene. Like I said, I was skipping a lot of school, and crazy stories. Crazy stuff. But it was the lifestyle, it was just the lifestyle, living really fast.
Did anything in high school snap you out of it?
Yeah, actually a little bit. Yeah, actually. So, I got to credit to my wife, but I think the first step that happened was, we weren't even actually, we did a lot of smoking and driving, and honestly, it's bad now, but we did a lot of drinking and driving. We were stupid in high school. Yeah, exactly, man. When you're living like that a little bit, you don't really give a shit, Well, one
You're
summer
invincible.
Yeah, exactly, man. That was the vibe, dude. And dude, I mean, I'm telling you, man, I'm a big music fan too. I'll never forget, dude. I mean, listening to 6 foot, 7 foot, 6 foot, 7 foot, going down a back road with, just smoking, like smoke. You know what I mean? Like, dude, we felt like we were absolutely unstoppable. You know what I mean?
Man,
but yeah. So really, I got in a car accident actually, and that's kind of what got me. That's kind of what got me out of it. So that was the first step. We were hanging out with my buddy, and we went to go driving down a gravel road. And I was like, man, I was like, man, I don't know if we should do this. He wanted to go fast down this road, and he really convinced us that we should and whatever. And we weren't even drunk or anything at the time. It was just us being stupid, right? And we went down the gravel road and we started picking up speed. He had a Bronco, really top heavy. Those cars, they should not be going fast down gravel roads. But he was going, he got to about 50 or 60 miles per hour, and he started fishtailing. And I didn't have my seatbelt on. My brother was in the back seat. My buddy was driving. And we started fishtailing. I'm like, yo, you got to slow down. I'm like, yo, you got to slow down. We're going to fall out. Like, we're going to go off the road. And he's like, and his idea of slowing down, he kind of slammed on the brakes, and the gravel started picking up. It's like he just started fishtailing even more. We couldn't get traction. And I look at my brother, and I'm trying to, I go to grab the seatbelt, and I'm grabbing it. I'm yanking on the seatbelt to try and get it on in his lock since the brakes are on. And I look at my brother. I turn around the back seat, and I tell my brother, I'm like, dude, I can't get my seatbelt on. And that was the last thing I said. Next thing you know, we flipped over onto our side, and then we were just sliding on the road, and then we did 2 rolls and a flip down a ditch. And I wasn't able to get my seatbelt on the whole time, so I was bouncing around the car. I actually ended up shattering the windshield, the passenger windshield with my face. I went boom and smashed it, and yeah, it was crazy. We did 2 rolls and a flip, and once we landed up right there, I came to it. I was bleeding from my head. There was glass all in my face. It was crazy. My brother was fine. My friend was diabetic, and he started going into a diabetic shock. So we ended up, it was rough. Yeah. So we ended up calling the ambulance and stuff. And luckily, all I had was a concussion, and they had to pick glass out of my face. But aside from that, we were all safe. But that was kind of my first wake up call. That was kind of my first, like, all right, it's time to chill.
Man, I'd hope no matter what anybody's getting into, whether it's it's heavy stuff or not, I hope something like that snaps them out of it. Were you did you know your wife at the time then, or?
No, actually, yeah, no. So my wife was like a straight A student, dude. My wife was like a straight A student. She was a good girl. And our junior year was the summer of sophomore year. We went to junior year, and junior year is when I met my wife. And I think that was
same high school. She was in the same high school.
Yep, same high school. Yep, the whole time. Yeah.
Okay.
And
different crowds.
Oh, hella different crowds. Yeah, like she's awesome. Straight. She's super quiet. She's beautiful, by the way. Like, oh my God, remembering her back in, I mean, hey, she's beautiful now, but I mean, just just thinking about I don't know, it's how much I love her, man. She was just extremely beautiful, even though she was in like the more quiet crowd. She didn't have like a ton of friends and stuff. And quite honestly, I was popular. I had a lot of friends. I didn't have any problems getting along with people. Like, everybody flocked to me. It was just kind of like natural. Even though I'm a bigger guy, I've always been comfortable with myself. I don't let that drag me down. And people, I think whenever I'm comfortable around myself, people feel comfortable. You know what I mean? And it's like, and I'm also a freaking open book, by the way. Like, I kind of just lay it all out there, man. And even in high school, that's how it goes. So one day I was playing COD, actually Modern Warfare 3. I was playing Modern Warfare 3, and I got pissed, and I put on Facebook, I was like, dude, I'm mad. I was like, dude, somebody message me, man. I'm pissed off. I just need to chill. And she ended up messaging me. She didn't tell me who she was at first. She didn't tell me who she was. And I was like, who is this? And she's like, oh, I see you and this and that.
Wait a minute. Did she ever tell you why she messaged you?
Yeah, yeah. I think she just said she was bored. I think she said she just saw. I think she said she just saw my Facebook status, and she said she was bored. I don't know. It's not the most romantic thing, but anyway. So we messaged for a few days, and I don't know who it is. And then I eventually ended up guessing it right. And I remember vividly, she goes, I didn't even know you'd know who I was. And I'm like, dude, I know I pay attention to everybody, like quiet, not quiet, like, dude, like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, I really, I like people. And I knew who she was. And I kind of gave her an ultimatum after like, I think it was a week or so of talking. I was like, hey, are we going to go out or not? Like, I was like, yo, we should totally date. And she was like, I don't know. And I was like, hey, well, just let me know by the end of the day. Like, cause I don't play games, man. When I want something, I'm like, I lay it out there, you know what I mean? But also I'm not going to wait around, that's kind of how I roll. If I'm not very patient. So I'm like, yo, we doing this? And yeah, we're going on 10 years. Yeah, huh? She said, yeah, we're going on 10 years. We just passed 10 years. We're going on 11 now.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, romantic or not, I guess everybody can see that differently, but that's a way to, get that spark going where, like, that's why I asked, did she have a reason? Because any reason is a good reason at all. So, if she saw that, maybe she was into you when she saw you around school, or maybe she was curious, or maybe she's like, this guy's funny. Something. Yeah,
she said she was bored, but let's be honest, it had to be my good looks. Like,
Tonight, I'm gonna give you homework, man, and I want to know the answer. Tonight, you need to, or after we're done here, I want you to ask her, be like, look, what's her name?
Caitlin,
listen, I want you tonight, when you go to bed, I want you to think deep and try to go back to find the feeling, look real deep. Why did you message me, and what brought you to type on the keyboard, and be sincere. Maybe you hated me, maybe you thought I was cute, maybe you thought to yourself, man, I wonder if this guy's packing. Bring something back for the people. I want to know.
I got you. I'll try and get it back. To be honest, if I had to guess, I'm hoping I had to be because I was funny. Like, at least some of it, right? Like, especially as a bigger guy. Everybody knows if you're a bigger dude, you got to make up for it somewhere. And that's kind of been that's kind of where, kind of what I've been doing my whole life, right? Like, and also it comes naturally. It's just kind of how it goes. Like, I like to think I'm a funny person.
I want to hear her answer. I actually did this with my wife a few years back because we were opposite sides of the spectrum, just like you. She was on a roll, and I was, I played sports, and I was a loudmouth, and
yeah.
It was just one of those things, and I was dating her friends, and I didn't really know her or anything like that. And I asked her, and she told me, she goes, I wanted to see why everybody thought that you were so cute or attractive, or you were funny and this and that. And then when I met you, I was like, this guy's not all that. Like, when she finally got to talking to me, she's all like, I don't see the big deal. And 16 years later.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there must have been something, but but essentially, like a lot of stories, man. I got a lot. It's weird. When I was going through a lot of my phases in high school, going through the party phase and stuff. That's when I really got into rap culture and hip hop culture and stuff like that. And that's kind of what heavily affects me even to this day. It really got me through a lot. I got a Kid Cudi Man on the Moon 2 tattoo of the album cover. Hip hop and rap literally drives my whole music taste. I got into it heavy.
Artist?
Kid Cudi, hands down.
And speaking of tattoos, how many tattoos do you have?
Oh, that's a good question.
Have you counted them?
4, 5. I'm gonna do it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 9 tattoos, but they're all big pieces. Yeah, they're big pieces. I don't get small pieces. They're all like big little works of art. But once I met my wife and I got really into Kid Cudi, it was almost at the same time. I'm not kidding. It was almost at the same time. I got heavily invested in Kid Cudi. I met my wife, and I kind of started partying. I'll be honest. I didn't necessarily stop partying as as much, but I stopped doing reckless shit as much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I go to the parties and stuff, but instead of going out and, you know, busting mailboxes, I just you know, chill at the house and just drink. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, and we did that stuff, man. Like, I was on a bad path. Like, if anybody knew me in high school, like if anybody happens to be watching this and you knew me in high school, yeah, they would know, dude. That they would vouch for me. But again, I'm a better man nowadays.
If anybody does recognize you, man, they need to come onto your Twitch channel and bless us with some stories. We want to hear some stories.
Oh God,
maybe it's a
dude.
different point of view, maybe a different perspective. We're all here for it.
Yeah, you know, it's funny though. I actually haven't had a lot of people actually kind of follow me and go through my Twitch journey so far that I actually know. I got a couple friends here and there and stuff, but that is one thing that's kind of surprising to me. I post on Facebook and stuff and people see it, but a lot of people just don't click that Twitch link. They don't click the YaBoiWilly live. You know what I mean? And
how old are you?
I'm 27.
I think I mean, you're not that old, man. I'm 38. Like, I feel like maybe people, more so people in my age range, maybe you have people in your age range, maybe they don't really take Twitch and video games seriously as something.
No, I think you're right. I think it's also the area I live in. I mean, I do live in the woods, and a lot of the culture out here is like, you know, no nonsense, traditional, exactly. Video games aren't good for you, you know, but it wouldn't surprise me if even though they're younger, they kind of grew up that way. And that's right. That's something that's, it's weird for me because I said I grew up in the city technically, and we moved out of here. So I think that might be one of the reasons why, I think I stood out so much in high school too. I just didn't have that kind of country culture. I had more of a city boy attitude and lifestyle. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that. And but yeah, that's something with the culture around here. It wouldn't surprise me if that's why they don't kind of tune in a lot. But
I got a feeling that if anybody was to grab you and kind of take you more so the other way instead of city, I would peg you as a hybrid, bro.
Really? Why? Really?
I would peg you as like a sports utility vehicle. Like, you'd be able to navigate through the city and also navigate through.
Yeah, dude. I worked. It's funny that you say that, man, because I can. You're totally right, man. I actually worked in a prison as a correctional officer for about a year, and that was when I was 19. When I was 19, I was like, yeah, very much so. And I think that speaks more or less to my ability to being able to navigate people. You know what I mean? It is a real, I think it's a real talent. You know what I mean? Like, being a 19-year-old, being a correctional officer, I worked in a medium security prison, and you know, that's, you know, it's not just city, right? Like, you got everybody there, but we had a lot of people from Chicago get routed to the area and stuff like that, and it was a lot of city people, right? It's, you know, a lot of city guys, and you know, they see in a 19-year-old, but you know, hey man, I got history, you know, and I'm not weird around people, man. I'm not weird, dude. I traverse, you know what I mean? I just, you know, I'm like a chameleon, you know what I mean? I can kind of fit in. I can kind of just, I'm in with the shits, you know what I mean? Like, I can just kind of navigate through a lot of conversations and kind of put my own personal touch on it, and not really try to offend anybody, even though somebody might be coming at me.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think too many people that have been through, you know, the experiences that we're hearing that you've been through can actually, you know, understand. Hey, I've been there. I've done that. I'm not saying you went to jail, but I've been there. You know, I've done my shit, and you got to understand. You got to kind of apply all those things to your present time to, you know, to kind of relate to the rest of the people that might be around you, you know, because you never know. Like I said, I always go back to, you never know what somebody's going through, and that's something that radiates through your streams, where you seem like you give without saying, you seem like you give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and that benefit of the doubt comes from that positive energy that, you know, you radiate. But going back to that year you did as a corrections officer,
Yeah, CO.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Why'd you quit? Why'd you leave? What happened?
Yeah. So I ended up quitting because it was mentally taxing. I mean, I was 19 working as a CEO, but really, I was having a hard, and maybe it does just speak to maybe my inner rebelliousness in me, but I was having a hard time actually fitting in with my coworkers more than anything. I never really had a hard time with the inmates. Now I did about get into a fight once. I did about get into a fight with an inmate once. But it was all good. But, aside from that, I never really had any problems with the inmates. They all treated me with respect. I treated them with respect. They never set me out. I never set them out. You know what I mean? Like it was a mutual. But dude, being a 19-year-old, I had glasses. And at the time, I'm not going to lie, I dyed my hair black. I was going through a bit of a scene phase. I had earrings in. I was kind of in a scene phase a little bit. And none of the COs wanted to talk with me. I had no friends.
Were they all older than you?
A lot of them, but not all of them. They just really didn't. They just really weren't. I don't know. And again, I've been the same my whole life. So like this attitude and stuff, the way I am, it just didn't work for a prison environment. Like people just thought I just didn't belong there, even though I worked there for almost a year and I had a lot of respect from the inmates. It's like the correctional officers and stuff. The other COs, they just didn't. They just didn't show me that respect back.
If I was in your position and I had to pick one or the other, your position and you had to pick one or the other, you're getting the correction, the CO's respect, or the inmates, I'd probably take the inmates.
Oh yeah, 100%. And that's what I did. That's all. I mean, to be honest, I'm in a dorm with these guys all day, 12 hours a day. I'm in a dorm with these guys. And for one, I mean, you're in the same dorm a lot, right? And I was in a corrections dorm actually. So these guys were people who were just coming out of facilities where they just got in trouble, things like that, like lock up and stuff. And even that being said, though, they were, again, I care more about how the inmates, honestly at the time, because you're in there 12 hours with them. I don't see the other COs much at all. You know what I mean? And to be honest, in low key, I kind of felt like I related a little bit more with the inmates than anything. My dad is, a big drug user, but growing up, we were really in the city. His friends were city. My whole family is like a big, hey, it is what it is. They're big in the city. And I mean, I think people who understand that, people who kind of get where I'm coming from and kind of know what I mean when I say that, like, and it's not like this is like a badge of honor or anything, but it's something that happens. Like, for instance, my dad, he's still on drugs. My uncle, he OD'd from heroin. My cousin OD'd from heroin. It's like, they get into that city life, that city style, that, living in Indianapolis, and even going to other places, things like that, addiction and stuff, and that kind of lifestyle is so heavy in my bloodline. It's so heavy. I'm one of the only people in my family, one of few that have not gotten addicted to anything, and am currently trying to make something more for myself. You know what I mean?
And that would have been the easy route to take, man. Easy route, as in kind of fall into the pattern. I mean,
but that's why I kind of related with the inmates more, like it was just like, I don't know, man. Everybody's got a story. Everybody's got a past.
100%, man. And after that, where'd you go? What'd you do after CO?
Oh, dude, bounced around jobs, factory jobs. I ended up going back to Walmart though. I worked at Walmart in high school and I left to work as a CEO, and I ended up going back, and I worked there for 7 years. I worked there for 7 years, and I was a supervisor. I was a department manager. I did a whole lot of stuff. And, at the end of the day, my personality fit Walmart more than anything. Even though it was retail, the customers freaking loved me. All my associates that I got to work with loved me. It was, and it's not hard for me to really be like that. It's just kind of how I am. And you know what I mean? Like, people are like, oh, dude, Will, you come in pretty positive every day. It's like, you gotta be, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of gotta be. And so yeah, I kind of resonated with them that way. And, eventually left Walmart. But I left Walmart to actually be a game tester in New Orleans during the pandemic.
Okay, get into that, man, bro. You got a lot.
Dude, I'm telling you, I was ready for an interview, man. I can't.
This is like Lord of the Rings.
Dude,
your boy Willy, go bring it. Keep it coming, man.
Dude,
you went to New Orleans to be a game tester?
Yeah. So at the beginning of the pandemic, I was having a really hard time. A lot of mental things were happening. I think it was happening to a lot of people, and I started really evaluating my life and mortality in general. And I was like, do I really envision myself working at Walmart every day? Like, it was miserable. I was miserable. So I ended up quitting Walmart to be I quit at first to be working at a car dealership. And I worked there for one day and I left. I absolutely hated it. I was like, this is the worst shit. I was like, this is the worst shit I've ever done.
Did you at least sell a car that day?
Hell no.
Did you come close?
Hell no. I know nothing about cars.
That's crazy. I would have thought you'd have sold 5.
Well, I know nothing about cars. No? I don't know cars. Yeah, I wasn't really fortunate enough with like having a dad who knows a lot about mechanics and stuff. It was kind of on my own a lot growing up. And I had my brothers though. Anyway, I did that and I started bouncing around jobs. And I said one day I was at an Amazon job, working in Amazon. And I literally I remember I called my mom. I was crying. I was like, Mom, I don't know what to do with my life. I was like, I have no idea what to do with my life. I am just a mess right now. I'm like, I can't work at Amazon. Like, this is misery. This is hell. So I went home that day and I applied at, I think, 30 game testing jobs across the country. I sent it. I didn't care. I applied at them all. And I got 1 million no's. And then one of them said yes. And I was like, what? And they asked for me to do kind of like, pre-test, things like that. So I did it and I passed and I had a virtual interview and they really loved me. And they helped me go down to New Orleans to be a game tester. But when we got down there, so really though, we got a U-Haul and we packed up everything, our whole life in the U-Haul. And we drove all the way down from Indiana to New Orleans, starting a new life. And we got down there. We were there for about 3 or 4 months. I loved being a game tester. It was awesome. But at the same time, the area we were in, we were on the east side of New Orleans, and we were not in the best of areas. And like I said, I know a little bit about the city, but I know whenever I'm in the bad part of the city. I mean, but I know how to keep a cool head, right? Like I'm not trying to get in anybody's business. I'm not an idiot, right? But at the same time, whenever I'm having to tell my wife, or whenever my wife and I are talking, I'm like, oh yeah, a block away, 2 people just died, and that's every day, like people getting shot every day. Man. Oh yeah, every day people are dying next to us. Like you can hear gunshots every single night.
Did you have any kids at the time?
Oh yeah, I had my 2 kids, and that was the problem. Yeah, that was the problem. I moved my whole family down here with my 2 kids, and I was so worried for their safety. Like, I mean, if it's just me, I'll hide in the house all day. I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I got kids. I want them to go to the park. I want them to know they can go outside and not get shot. And but that's the thing. That's reality, dude. In New Orleans, the east side, dude, it's just popping off, dude. It's popping off all the time. And one day we heard a lot of gunshots, and we were like, what the hell? That was really close. And we found out, it was on the news the next day, but we found out that right in front of our apartment, this old lady got shot to death in her car. And the people who did it shot and killed her, and then ran into our apartment complex and stole a car and then drove off. But and they were 13 or 14 years old. Like, they were only kids, man. But that being said, it was like, that was so close, and it was like, it was too much. So we started making a plot to get out of there. Once the tax check came, we just dipped. We moved back to Indiana and lived with my brother for a little bit, just in a 1-bedroom room with 2 kids and my cat, with my wife and I for a little bit, and then we moved out here. And
how long did you game test?
I was there for about 3 or 4 months, but I did a really damn good job while I was there. Yeah. I was trying to move up.
I believe that.
That's kind of what I do, man. I've been a supervisor and manager and stuff, and most of the stuff I do, I really put a lot of work. When I'm working, I put a lot of work. I think that's just kind of something in my character,
Cool, man. And I'm 100% sure that's something you kind of, instill in your kids,
Oh yeah.
At least the older one, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, man, it sounds like you've been. It sounds like at some point or another, you've kind of pointed back to video games.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's exactly it, man. My video games have been my outlet my whole entire life. Like, there's never a moment where, you know, I'm not you know, wherever I'm like, if I'm feeling sad, if I'm still feeling down, the absolute most therapeutic thing for me is to put on some games, put on like World of Warcraft. I play a lot of League of Legends too, but put on a video game, throw on some Spotify, and that's kind of my zen. You know what I mean? That's my mode. That's my zen. That's what makes me calm down. That's what helps me out through life. That is kind of it.
Let me ask you this, since you say that. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people in relationships, we're kind of veering off here. A lot of people in relationships that find that find that comfort zone in video games. Maybe their partners don't really understand it. Yeah. And you know, I know my wife has. You know, it's taking her some time to understand it, but also at the same time. I'm not a guy that wants to go to the bar. I'm not a guy that wants, you know, that is going to go hang out with 3 or 4 of his friends at one of their houses and, you know, drink some beers and hang out for a little bit. Like I find my peace here. And,
yeah, for sure.
And for those that are, you know, do find their peace there, whether you're, you know, whatever kind of relationship you're in, it can't be easy. Like, has your wife always been...
Yeah, so we went through that. Yeah, so we definitely went through that. But that was about our whenever we first moved out together, our second year of being together, way back when high school first ended, we went through that. And because she moved in. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, because honestly, if I can't, no offense, and I love her to death, and I tell her this: if you're not, I can't be with you if you don't understand my hobbies. You know what I mean? And how much that means.
Going with that, does she have her own hobbies?
Not. She likes watching movies and stuff. Like that's kind of like her hobbies. She likes watching shows and stuff. Yeah, and I accept that. She used to do a lot of reading, but she doesn't do that much anymore. But I totally accept all her hobbies as well. But it's funny because when we first moved out, she didn't really understand. Like she wanted to. It's hard. I have a very active brain, and I think that's a lot of gamers. It's hard for me to actually sit there and watch a movie. Like I don't know what it is. It's hard for me to just lay in bed and do nothing but watch a movie. It's like for me, it's like I want to be active. I want to be shooting. You know, I want to be competing or something. Like it's hard to pinpoint it, but that's kind of how I am with it. So you know, when we first moved out, she's like, "Why can't you just lay in bed with me?" And it's like, "What? Like don't get me wrong, we did a lot of cuddling and stuff, but like, what, you want me to just lay in bed all day and do nothing?" Like it's like it wasn't for me. I'm like, dude, no, I would rather be playing video games. Like, well, I mean, staying active, doing something, and you know, it's funny. Instead of I guess holding that against her, I use that as an opportunity to teach her about the video games that I was playing. And once she really understood, it started with League of Legends, but once she understood League of Legends, she started playing League of Legends. She started liking League of Legends. Awesome. She started making it to where we would hook up HDMI cords from my PC to the TV, so she could watch on a big screen, lay in bed and watch me play League of Legends.
Bro, you were living the dream.
I know. and it's funny. And eventually she got into World of Warcraft, and now her hobbies is video gaming. Her hobby is video gaming, and I kind of
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I see couples like that do that. You know,
right next to me is her setup. It's literally we have our setup directly next to each other, and we play tons of games together. We're
get her streaming.
Gaming buddies. Oh, she is way too nervous. She's super shy, dude. I'm like the in your face kind of guy. I've been on 4 months streaming and cam every night. She hasn't been on stream once. She makes it a priority to make sure she is not on stream.
One day, man. I have hope. Just like maybe you didn't sell a car. I think you can sell this car.
Maybe so, dude. Maybe we can try and get her. Maybe I need some help from the chat or some help from the community to
but
really boost her up.
You don't want to have a bad experience, because once you have a bad experience, it ain't coming back.
That's true. That is true.
But that's awesome that your wife is, you know, she plays games. I know a lot of couples that do that, and I look at that and I'm just so like, wow, that is the dream. My wife, she doesn't do the video games. You know, whenever I'm streaming, she's watching her shows and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know about you, but sometimes I get the little sense of guilt, like, you know, man, I could be hanging out with her instead of being here, but you know.
Yeah.
Now you're streaming. Now you're trying to make something of it instead of just enjoying it. And you start seeing things. You start seeing returns, which it's like, okay, you know, this could be something. So let's change gears, man. You said your first MMO was RuneScape.
Yep.
And then you moved on to World of Warcraft.
Yep. Right into World of Warcraft.
Whatever you had in between then and September of last year when New World came out, and even everything before that, because I mean we had to wait a while for this game.
Oh yeah.
How did you first hear about it?
So actually, I mean, I heard about New World. I heard about New World obviously through. I played a lot of WoW, right? So I was running a guild in World of Warcraft and TBC. I was running a guild at the time when New World came out. We were doing raiding and everything. Like we were a full blown 300 to 400 person guild. And everybody was talking about it, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have intentions on playing it. My twin brother Chris was like, "Hey, dude, you should play New World. It's a lot of fun." And it just was on release. Like he bought it, and I was like, "Dude, I don't know. I'm really into WoW." And he goes, "Dude, I'm gonna buy it for you," because I'm stubborn. I'm stubborn with the games I like. And he ended up buying me New World. And honestly, if he didn't buy me New World, I don't even know if, I don't know, quite frankly, if we'd be here right now. You know what I mean? So it's pretty awesome. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into it, was my brother.
A lot of a lot of World of Warcraft players, man, like it takes a lot of investment, especially if you're into the raiding scene. Like it's,
oh yeah. I
have a really good friend that I've been trying to talk into, you know, coming into New World, and he always gives me the same answer. You know, I have so much invested here that it feels, it's tough to make that decision to maybe turn that page. So
yeah, I had to do that.
I can understand where you're coming from. So was it beta?
No, it was released full on launch. Yeah, it was full on launch for New World.
So the game was already.
Yeah, the game just launched, full launch, and that's whenever I started playing. Again, you know, and it's funny, I have such a history in New World. I fell in love with the wars, and that literally made me quit World of Warcraft. I fell in love with the wars, man. It was something about the idea of 50v50 warfare that, like, on a fort for a whole territory, that I felt like it was so personal. I felt like there was something so dope behind that meaning. And yeah, it kind of happened there. I started out in Cedar Forest, and that's where I was at first. And now your boy Willy is on Castle of Steel at the moment. But yeah, Cedar Forest was my first home.
It's funny, when I was on Crocilia, I remember hearing about you on Cedar Forest. I remember when Cedar Forest moved over to Crocilia, it was like, all right, you know, Willy's over here and his people and all this, and I was just like, Willy, okay, all right, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what they're bringing, and you guys fucking came in there smacking ass, boy.
Yeah, dude, it's funny, man. Again, you know, obviously the game has evolved a lot since I've been really into the shot caller roots of things, but that's what happened, man. Really, it started happening, you know, at the very first launch of the game. I did everything to get into wars, and I started getting into wars when I was just level 40. Like, I would network. I was networking so hard. I'd talk to anybody who was running a war. I'm like, I gotta get in this. I gotta see what this is like. And once I got a taste, oh, dude, I was not dropping it. I tried everything, and I started getting known a little bit just by being in the wars. And then a company named Cleared ended up taking kind of using a ton of exploits, and the hatchet exploit where you would go where you wouldn't die and you could live forever. They took a ton of territories using that exploit, and it kind of made everybody leave the game. A lot of people left on my faction. They faction swapped, and everybody, the whole faction chat all day was just misery. And this is when I was playing New World like nonstop, 24/7. I was like, no, guys. I was like, no, it's not happening. happening like this. I was like, I'm starting a company and we're going to fight back. And of course, everybody's like, man, shut up. You ain't nobody. Like, you know, I'm like, no, like I'm fighting back. So I started connecting with some of the few companies that were still alive, and I convinced them to keep playing, and I convinced them to stay. So I made my first company called the Emerald Resistance, and we were Marauders at the time. And I started networking. We started networking with a lot of companies. I started building up my company, and eventually over time I took First Light. We took First Light, and then we started taking over the map, man. We started taking over the map. I took Windsward, I took Everfall. And I was shot calling all these wars, and we ended up taking most of the map except for 3 territories before drama started happening, which is of course is how every company falls in New World. But
and that's awesome to hear, because, and I'm not downing anybody, but it seems like where we are right now, server wise, it seems like as soon as one server is being predominantly kind of moved by one guild or 2 guilds, other guilds kind of, you know, tuck the tail between their legs and move on to another server.
Yeah, it happens all the time. It even happened in the beginning. I mean, The people, it wouldn't even, you know, it was more representative of factions before you could server transfer. It was like as soon as our Marauder faction started taking big L's, everybody's starting to swap to Syndicate. You know what I mean? It's like people just don't know how to stand and fight. And that was one thing that people I think really rallied behind me for. I actually would hold, man, I'm telling you, man, the people, you know, I really believe in this community. I mean, I would hold meetings for faction meetings. I would stay in the faction chat. I'd be like, hey guys, we are having a shot caller class tonight for anybody who wants to try and learn a little bit about wars. And I would hold these meetings of 70 to 80 people just on the faction from Cedar Forest Marauders, and people would just listen in, and I would be telling them a little bit about my ideas on how I shot call and what to look for in PvP. And people were like, damn, Willy, you know, Willy's really trying to help us out. And that's kind of how it all started. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how my name, and then obviously making the diss tracks. Once I started making some of the diss tracks, that was kind of my first ever buzz in New World. Like, people knew of Willy, but once I made that MH diss track, it got a couple thousand views, and that was kind of the first time people were like starting to recognize me and be like, yo, it's Willy, you make that diss track.
I remember that. Speaking of the community, man, I've, you know, in the last couple of minutes, I've heard you use the word community a lot, and for me personally, and I want to know your perspective on this. I've played Guild Wars 2, World of Warcraft, Retail, Classic. I've done Star Wars: The Old Republic. I've done Elder Scrolls. I've done, what other MMOs? And I've done Bless. That was a shit show.
Yeah.
I've done DC Online. I've done a good amount of MMOs. I'm sure there's people out there that have done way more, but I mean, I feel like I've gotten my feet wet with a lot of MMOs in my time. And I gotta say, man, like, every community and every game has its pros and its cons.
Yeah.
But I feel like the connection within the community on every server that you can go on in New World, I don't know what it's like in EU, but I'm not going to go ahead and be naive and say that EU is less toxic or more toxic. It's all the same fucking community.
Yeah.
Bro, I love the community in New World, man. I love how accessible it is. I love how everybody kind of knows each other. I love how easy it is to get to know somebody. It's not like any other game, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not trying to say it's the best community, but I think the game, the way it works, in a sense, it is community driven.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the community in New Worlds is amazing. Now, I know a lot of people say a community or New World's toxic. Like, a lot of people say that.
But what game is it?
But yeah, well, for sure, exactly. But also at the same time, I think behind all the toxicity, there's a person that just wants to see New World do better. There's a person that just 100%. Wants to see the community thrive. And I think that's where, you know, being able to recognize that, you know what I mean? Like, and realize, like, for instance, there's a very popular clip of Beyond Climb right now, you know, getting really salty in defense. He ended up losing, and he was like raising his voice. He's like, get on the point and this and that. And like, don't get me wrong, it's hilarious and people are making memes out of it. But at the same time, to me, that, well, whatever reason, I just think it's something passion, right? There's a little passion behind that. You care about the game. You know what I mean? You care about, you know, this war means something. And you know, it's like things like that, you know. But even the people who like make memes and are always toxic, like, yeah, like I think there's definitely a limit on how toxic, you know, you should be. But at the same time, like, you know, I think that's why I try to operate the way I do, you know, having a, you know, positive stream. And yeah, we banter a little bit back and forth, right? But at the same time, at the end of the day, it all comes back to just having a good time and enjoying the experience with the community together. And I think that's one thing that separates my stream from a lot of other people. You know, people tell me like, oh, you're the face of New World. It's hard to feel that way whenever you see other people have like, you know, I'm not downplaying my own stream, but you know, people have thousands of views, way more viewers than what I get. You know what I mean? And people are like, I'm the face. And it's like, well, when I really think about it, my whole viewership comes from New World. Like as scary as that is for, you know, from a content creation perspective, it's also awesome and amazing at the same time, because I know that, you know, I have almost 5,000 followers, but this is the first game I've ever streamed on this, you know what I mean? Or at least on this account. This is the first community I've ever actually starting to get a following from. So it's like when, you know, I have 300 viewers, you know, that could be like, yeah, other people could be trickling in from other places, but a lot of times those are 300 viewers that are in the New World community. You know what I mean? This isn't like 300 viewers who are playing, you know, World of Warcraft. You know what I mean? Like for the most part, these are going to be people that are in the New World community.
And at the end of the day, you're 4 months, bro. 4 months. You've been streaming 4 months?
Yeah, I'm going on 4 months. It's going on 4 months this month.
You know, put it into perspective. You know, you haven't been doing it as long as others have. So I mean, if somebody says you're the face, bro, I'll take that as a compliment on a personal level and keep, you know, move forward, bro. I've told you many a times, man. You deserve all the attention that you're getting, and
thank you.
You should definitely be getting more, but also at the same time, 4 months.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's wild, man. It really is wild. And that's why, I mean, I say it a lot in stream, but maybe it is because I'm so new. I do always say that, like, I really appreciate people for being there. And maybe I don't need to say that anymore, right? People are being here. People want to be here. People want to be in my stream because they like the stream. They like the content I'm bringing. But at the same time, it's like, I can't help it. You know, again, to kind of hit on the past. Like, you know, I gave you my past in the beginning, right? It's like, I'm just a very average guy. You know what I mean? I'm a very average guy. You know, and it's like, to be in this position where I'm finding a lot of success this way. I can't help but be thankful. You know what I mean? I can't help but want to thank everybody who come in every night. I can't, you know what I mean? It's so hard not to. And those emotions. And that's why, like, I know sometimes I cry on stream. Sometimes I get in my feels like that, because it's like, you know, I mean, you know, it's like, I don't really have a lot in life. Like, I got my family, I got my kids, and I got a couple of my brothers, and I got a close friend or two. But like, when it comes to, you know, what I've been able to accomplish career wise, when it comes to what I've been able to kind of do, you know, I didn't go to college. I didn't, you know, like I worked at Walmart 90% of my life. It's like, I've never had something that I guess has some type of talent to it. And this is the first time people have been like, dude, you are really good at this. You're a great streamer. You're a good shoutcaster. Like, you got to keep this up. And it's like, it makes me feel good, dude. You know, it makes me, I can't help it. It's like, damn, I feel like I'm finding my stride in something.
For sure. And it's you know, I'm sure people are watching, and you say that sometimes you think you should stop telling your stream, you know, you appreciate it.
Yeah.
You think so?
I don't know. It's because sometimes I feel.
What would you tell your kids, man? I mean, because I tell my kids all the time, make sure you tell everybody on the outside you appreciate if somebody did something for you. Always. I don't care if you're 90. Don't ever let that go, bro. Don't ever let that go. No matter how big you get, let people know, man, because it makes people feel like they are a part of something, even when you follow. Like, it makes them feel like, today I'm a part of something, you know? And we go back to the same thing. You know, people come to your stream because maybe they didn't have a good day.
Yeah. And that's a good point, man. And you know, I think that's something that I kind of grew up on myself. Like my dad, he may be in a rough spot now, but that was one thing that he did teach me. You know what I mean? Like he was a great father until that happened. And you know, being thankful for what you have is so important. And I feel like that's one thing that I just, you know, I you know, it kind of incorporates with the stream. It's like from blowing up as fast as I did, I feel like it's a different trajectory than what a lot of streamers have. You know what I mean? And it makes me even feel even more thankful for all the people who are gifting subs and donating and making this to where I can literally feed my family, you know, this way. And like that's how important it is to me. And it's like, it means a lot. Like it's enough to get emotional. It's enough to really feel so many types of feelings. And it's like, you know, like I'm like, you know, for instance, like we were on food stamps for the longest time because my wife couldn't work while she was pregnant. We got off of food stamps. It actually wasn't even because I started streaming. It was because she couldn't work while she was pregnant and I wasn't working. So they cut the food stamps. So it's like this stream is doing everything. Like it's paying for the food, it's paying for the bills, like it's everything right now. And it's like, it's nervous, it's nerve wracking. But at the same time, I'm still fine. I still have fun with it. I don't let that get in the way. You know, I do my thing. I come in every day and I'm just, you know, every day I just hope that you know, I can bring something exciting for people that want to support me and help me continue reaching my goals and reaching for higher heights. My goal at the end of the day is to be the biggest streamer out there. And whether this interview can be a mark for that or whatever, I am really wanting, that's my ultimate goal. That's my ultimate goal. Just keep trying as hard as I possibly can.
That's awesome, man. I love to hear that. It's refreshing to hear that. It doesn't sound like you got a big head at all. And like I said, keep appreciating. Let people know you appreciate those things. And I love one thing that I've been thinking about while you're talking is I love that you're not a basher. And when I say basher, Amazon, you know, we're looking at you. There's a lot of other streamers out there. And I don't like to throw names around.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw one. And I like watching him. It's not his fault. But Asmongold moves a lot of people. And I feel like, I don't think he's a negative guy. But I think there can be some negativity that drives people away from products without them even tasting a product.
Yeah.
And you're one, like, I love watching you because, you know, you're honest, and we're going to talk about the things that you think should change in New World. You're honest, but you're not a person that's out here bashing to the point where you can get your 3, 4, 5, 6, 700 people that come to you on a regular basis and be like, fuck this game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I feel like no matter what I do, and even if at one point, let's say New World is in such a bad state where let's say wars are just not good anymore, things like that. Even if I did have to exit the game or exit the stage, it wouldn't be in a toxic kind of way. You know what I mean? It would be in a, sorry if you hear a kid in the back.
Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah, sorry, I apologize. It would be in a like very serendipitous kind of way. You know, I would be more sad than anything. I don't think I'd be more mad. I wouldn't be like, F this game, this and that. I would actually be very much in my feels for how much it's changed my life. So like, even if that day did come, it's like, I still wouldn't be having, I want to be leading an leading a crusade against Amazon.
That's good, man. I love to hear that, man. So let's talk a little bit more about New World, since we're, kind of talking about New World. I feel like the last 3 patches have been moving the game in a great direction. Mm-hmm. I think, they're some people can come out and say, well, they could be doing more, they should have been doing more, whatever. Today, I think we're moving in a great direction. If Willy was sitting down at the table with these devs, man, would you shake him like
Yeah. So like, if I could give like 2 or 3 things that I think I would change immediately, that let's do 3 things. 3 things I would literally change right now, and I would make work no matter what. I don't care what, you know, you can argue against it or with it. It's whatever, but this is my personal opinion. So the first thing I would do, which I think is the most glaring issue, the most obvious issue that I'm so surprised nobody's done yet, is change the way wars are declared. We got to get something else that is not pushing faction missions. We just got to get something else that isn't pushing faction missions. Faction missions are absolutely miserable. I have not met a single person who has pushed a faction mission to get a war, or to, you know, declare on a war and been like, hey, that was a good experience. 2, I would get queuable instance wars like OPR. I think you know, wars are some of the best content for the game, and it makes no sense why you would be gating that against more of the casual community and PvE players. And unfortunately, the reality is when we see PvE players try to war, everything is controlled by these absolute god mode companies that are just going to shit on them the whole time, and it's a complete farm fest. And that is going to actually do the opposite and make them want to quit the game, because they're going to feel really bad about it. They're going to get shit on in the community. They're going to get they're going to get memed on. They're going to be called a PvE company. Don't try and war again. And I feel like by implementing a queuable war, you can pretty much put yourself in a position where you can get actual practice. And if not practice, you can at least experience what a war feels like to some extent. You know, how you would go about it, that's up to Amazon or whatever. You know, we can talk to our blue in the face, but that's just one of the things that one of the other things I think. And then the third one, which is a little more questionable, but I think is still doable, is getting rid of factions in general. I think this game is definitely turned into a company v company game. I don't think it's you know, there's so many people mingling across factions that it's barely a faction game anymore. I think the way the factions were designed was for a big player base, but now that we're starting to get into a lower player base, I think a company v company wouldn't be that bad. And then for bonus points, just for if I had to do any bonus points, make owning a territory, give more customizations to companies who own the territory. Maybe put guards around the city who have tabards that have the logo on it. You know, maybe make it to where you can upgrade the tavern. You know what I mean? Make it to where you can make cooler things. Choose a song that plays in the tavern for that week. You know, put a statue in the town square of the actual governor if you've owned it for 2 weeks. Like, if a company's
awesome. That's awesome stuff.
Yeah, again, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do. Like, if a company's owned a territory for like 2 weeks, make it to where there's check marks, right? Make it to where there's incentives for more than just money. Like, hey, if you've owned this for, let's say you own this for 2 days, 2 days. Okay, then you get this. 3 days, then you can do this now. You know, if you own it for 2 weeks, boom, get a statue of the government or governor in the town somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of cool things you can do, but unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff Amazon has to do first. But those are just some ideas.
That's good stuff, man. I would check off on all of that stuff. I definitely like your bonus one, man. I've never even thought of or heard of that. You know, make it where, you know, towns are customizable, all that stuff, and it's endless possibilities.
It would add flair, man. It would add flair, and we give, because I've owned plenty of territories before. It feels like there's not much rewards for owning a territory. It's like, this way it would make you feel a little more customizable. It would make it feel a little more like, this is mine. You know what I mean?
Right.
And losing it would hurt even more, and wanting it back would be even better. You know what I mean? So it's 100%. This incentives for warring, I think, is so huge.
What do you think about this, man? I've talked about this on stream, and if anybody is tired of hearing me put this out there, I'm sorry, but this is the first time that I put it out to Willy. What do you think about this, Willy? I like your instance idea, and you know, for those people that don't get a taste of wars, and I've been thinking about this for so long, man. Imagine you have put down the territories in 3 different tiers. You have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and the tier 3s are the ones that are bringing in, you know, statistically have brought in more tax money. So let's
like Everfall, Word, stuff like that.
Yep, ebb and scale, whatever. You know, tier them down. And let's say the tier 3s are for guilds that are 51 members to 100 members, or 61 to 100, whatever. So you're going to have large, medium, small size guilds. right? Small can be 1 to 30, and then medium can be 31 to 50 or 31 to 60, whatever. Okay. I 100% I think they need to fix the whole influence thing, how you're pushing wars and all that, but you know, they can figure out the logistics on that. So small, medium, large. Let's say there's 3 small territories for small guilds. There's, you know, 3 for medium, 3 for large. You can only own 1 or possibly 2 per guild. Whatever. Let's say it's 2, and you wanna take over another territory. In order to take another territory, when you declare, you have to drop one of the territories and leave it up for grabs.
That'd be cool. Okay? Yeah, I like that idea.
So if you're a small size guild, you know, you have 30 members, you can go try to work to get this territory. Also, one thing that I brought this up, and somebody was all like, well, what about guild hoppers? Okay, well, let's add like a 86-hour cooldown. If you drop a guild, you have 86 hours before you can join another guild, because there's going to be people that are going to be like, all right, I'm leaving this guild so I can help my sister guild get this territory. No, fuck that. 86 hours.
A lot of people, and I agree with that too, having cooldowns with swapping companies and answering shell companies, and then obviously mercs. You know what I mean? Those are the two biggest things when we see what we see from smaller companies. You know, shell companies, yeah, they have. Well, for one, they definitely have to merc. But the shell company problem, I think, is one of the biggest problems in New World, and it's been one of the biggest problems since it started happening.
So let's make it 90%. You have to field a roster 90% from your guild, regardless you're small, medium, or large. That roster has to come 90% from your guild. The factions, drop the factions, make territories. I don't know if you ever played Arcade or Black Desert Online. Make it to where there's no factions, right? And like you said, it's guild versus guild at this point. Make it so you can declare on a guild. So you have 3 hours of declaration on a guild. Count the kills. Whoever wins gets a certain amount of money. Like, make a wager in between both governors or something. You know,
that'd be cool.
Declare on you, you declare on me. And also territories, man, like an Arcade. Make them so maybe 3 of them are rotating throughout the 24-hour clock, where you're forced to be PvP flagged. If you go into that territory and that territory is at war, you get 40% more yield on resources.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I like that incentive. It would incentivize people for sure. And I think that's what the thing with New World is. We need to incentivize people. You know what I mean? We need to start incentivizing companies. We need to incentivize people to want to play more and to do more. Yeah, exactly. Include them into more things. I think whatever we can do for that would be ideal.
Maybe the medium or small size guilds will stop hopping around, running away from those big size guilds, if they actually had something that was categorized and driven just for them.
And we give them a goal to obtain or shoot for, right? You know what I mean? I want to be a bigger guild, so we can start practicing here. You know what I mean? Something, you know, it's unfortunate though. I feel like the community, obviously we're a part of that. We all have so many good ideas, and it's just a matter of what the implication is going to look like. You know what I mean? I think Brimstone Sands is going to be so important for New World as a whole. I hope it's good. I hope it's good, but I think there's going to be I hope it's good. That's all I'm going to say.
I hope it's not a make or break situation. I know I hear a lot of people saying they need to raise the cap, but also at the same time, they need the map to be a little bit bigger before they can raise that cap.
I personally think Brimstone Sands might be a make or break for New World. I think so. I don't know. Right now, I'm very much in with the community and the way it's looking on, especially on NA East. NA West is already on its last leg. It only has pretty much one server. YGG over there on West is like the one server over there, and then NA East, it's already looking rough over here too, man. It's a lot of people are like, for instance, I mean, we have Supple, who's starting to come to COS now and be one of the top companies in like 14 minutes. You know what I mean? It's like and a lot of people, we went from like having a super city or super server like Marama to everybody's going different ways. Nobody's really in place with things. Alts are all over the place. A lot of the core core players, PvP and PvE, are having a hard time right now. So I'm hoping. I think I think the numbers it's definitely bouncing back a little bit, but I think that's more reflective of people trying to get ready for the new patch, trying to get the umbies, trying to get the shards, trying to get back for the new patch when it comes out, for all the new things they might be getting, because there's a lot of changes, and I think that's going to do good. But I think if Brimstone Sands is a flop, then
it's going to hurt, man. It's going to hurt.
It's going to hurt, and especially with Wrath of the Lich King coming out, probably towards the end of the year, and retail Dragonflight coming out for WoW as well. It's gonna be a little rough for the New World community, in my opinion, but we're here for it. I'm here for it. I'm not going anywhere, obviously. So but I'm staying positive about it.
I definitely think MMOs are. I'm a PvPer, but the reality is I think PvE content is more important in MMOs. So hopefully that new if we can call it an expansion, provides that PvE content to bring.
I heard it is more PvE based from what I've heard.
Good. Yeah, good. All right, man. Well, we're gonna get to the last part here because we've been going for a while. So I'm pretty sure you got people probably fell more in love with you than they already were.
hey man, I hope so. If not, hopefully they have fun listening. I feel bad if I rambled a little bit. I kind of
man, this was the whole point, bro. It's not to hear me talk.
Yeah, I love talking, dude. I'm a big talker, man. I don't know, I can talk for days, dude. It's what I do.
Me too. So it was a little tough, kind of letting you, because I talk a lot. I think I probably, if you put me in a car dealership for one day, I think I could have beat you.
Probably so, dude. Probably so.
All right, so we're gonna go to I'm gonna fire some questions at you.
All right, let's go.
And so get comfy. I'm gonna fire 10 questions at you.
Okay. You
can pass on one. All right. So
gotcha.
Don't pass too early, man, because the tough ones could come early, the tough ones could come late. Hold on to that lifeline. You might not want to something. All right, so the first one, we're gonna take it easy on you. The first one, a place in the world that you'd love to go get lost in. Japan?
Yep.
Awesome. All right, number 2, boxer briefs, or commando?
Boxer briefs.
All right. What your wife? What's she? Shoot her the question real quick. She's got to be fast. Where is she?
All right, hey babe. What? Boxer briefs, or commando?
For who?
You.
No, for you.
Oh, for you.
no, on you, Willy, on you, not on her.
On me.
What I would prefer?
Yeah, what would you prefer on me?
Boxer briefs.
Boxer briefs.
All right, we're on the same page.
We're aligned.
Then. I like it. Favorite restaurant?
Olive Garden.
How do you like your steak?
Medium rare.
All right. Your best virtue?
Oh crap! I'm an idiot. What's virtue?
Virtue is a value of you, something that.
Oh, I get you.
Honesty, or blunt, or
I guess we kind of hit on it earlier, but always seeing the best in people. That I think that's because I would want some. Yeah, I would want somebody to see the best in me.
Awesome. Your biggest flaw?
Oh God. I know it's got to be wrapping up. My biggest flaw, I'm a bit of I know it sounds cheesy, and I know I'm not doing an interview for a job, but I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and I get down on myself. I actually do get down on myself pretty easy. It is a flaw of mine. I get really down on myself sometimes when I need to be just chilling.
Well, based on that answer, let me give you a bit of advice that a counselor gave me once. Perfection is a lie, man. It's impossible. But keep on, man. Keep on being better today than you were yesterday.
That's actually really good advice, dude. Thank you for that. That's actually really good.
Man. Don't beat yourself up.
Thank you.
You're already the hardest worker in the room.
Hey man, I'm trying, bro. After this, in about 20 minutes, I'm going live casting EU, so I'm pumped.
All right. 7, your favorite streamer?
My favorite streamer. Damn, I like so many of them. Right now, my favorite streamer is probably Redbird.
Redbird?
Redbird. Yeah, Redbird during the day. I watch Redbird during the day a lot.
I'll have to check him out.
He streams New World, actually. He's really cool.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Last time you cried?
Oh man, probably on stream. Actually, it was on stream. Last time I cried was on stream. Whenever everybody started gifting me subs and stuff, it kind of came out of nowhere, and it was during my it was after I did my power rankings, and people were really juicing me up, and not only just in the sub kind of way, gifting sub kind of way, but just telling me I was doing a great thing for the community, and it literally made me cry. It literally made me cry. I couldn't help it.
That was recently?
That was pretty recent. Yeah, that was pretty recent.
What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Oh my God, Scary Movie 2. Scary Movie 2, dude. Oh, dude, it's a classic, man. It's a classic. I'm telling you, scary movies get dunked on a lot, but nothing beats Scary Movie 2.
That's a rare answer, man. I've never heard that one.
Yeah, Scary Movie 2. I mean, maybe that's why I'm kind of into the comedy that I am. But Shorty is probably my favorite character I've ever. He's one of the Wayne one of the Wayne brothers, dude. He's shaped my comedy and shaped who I am a lot. But definitely Scary Movie 2. If I had to pick one, I could quote that whole freaking movie from front to back. It's so funny.
That's crazy, man. That's awesome. Never heard that one, but I appreciate that, man. And last one, man. Your favorite sex position?
I gotta say, man, if she not look, if the mood's right, gotta be on. Hey, I like it whenever somebody's on top, right? I'm not gonna be lying, dude. If they know how to, if they got the motion with it, then hey, that's always a good time whenever I can be chilling. But aside from that, I like doggy, man. What can I say? I like some doggy, dude.
Well, wait a minute. Based on those two answers, I was actually gonna ask you a different one before, but I left it out. But based on those two answers, I already have the answer to the other one that I left out. And it would be, are you an ass man or are you a breast man? Obviously, you're an ass man.
No, believe it or not, I like doggy. I like doggy, but dude, I am big into the titties, man. I am a huge titty guy, dude. I'm telling you, dude, my dream one day is to be signing some titties. Dude, titties are the absolute best, man. Dude, don't get me wrong. I love a good booty, but man, dude, if she got some big titties, I am there. I'm there for it.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Hopefully your wife was okay with that summary that you just put out there.
Oh, dude, she's got big old titties, so we good.
That's awesome, man. Well, I appreciate your time, man. I feel like we had a good one here, and I hope when we put this out, when you guys are all watching this, guys, gals, and everything in between, I hope you guys all have a great time. I hope this gave you some insight on Willy. I hope this helps you fall in love with him even more. And if you already support him, keep pumping that support, because in my opinion, the dude deserves it. I think he's the hardest working dude right now in New World, and that's I'm not shitting on anybody else, because there's a lot of hard workers out there streaming, putting out content, and I appreciate all of you, because it's all for the well-being of all of us. So,
yep, and I just want to say, Vega, obviously, hey, thank you for giving me a platform. Thank you for doing the interview again. My first one ever, so it was a lot of fun. I love being able to go a little bit into my past, into my history. So Vega, thank you so much again, guys. And again, if you ain't catching Vega, man, check Vega out too, though. Vega, he be streaming too, man. He's a lot of fun to watch, dude. Always in them OPRs, dude, the boy. You got to catch him out.
Appreciate it. We're going to put down links. We're going to put down all sorts of stuff down in the little information section. So go check them out if you haven't, and appreciate all of you. Take it easy.